Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll. This is your October real estate update for El Sereno. Happy Halloween to everyone out there. I've been keeping my eye on El Sereno. I have hopes that this neighborhood has the potential to be the next one to kind of catapult itself into the above $1 million average home price. It needs to work on crime, get improved schools, and then start to see that development in the commercial side of things to have nice restaurants and shopping and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm keeping my eye on it because it just, geographically has the potential to do that, being just south of Pasadena, Highland Park. Eagle Rock homes are selling for $1.3 million on average. So it has that potential, but we have some stubborn home sellers right now. We're going to get into all the numbers in the market, tell you exactly what's going on. Look at some month over month, look at some year over year. End of the video, we're going to break down a few homes that have caught my eye. Let's go. Anyone paying attention to the real estate market is seeing consistent things happen, which is inventory is low, right? Home prices are still high, and rates are incredibly high comparatively to the last 5, 10 years, 15 years, right? So we're not getting a high amount of buyer demand. So what that's leading to is home sellers are not getting the sale prices they've seen in 2022 for their neighborhoods, especially 2021. And we're seeing 20, 30, sometimes even 40% price drops on the homes available in the market, especially as you get up into the 60-day mark for days on market. But for whatever reason, could be the agents, could just be home sellers not being as adamant about selling, but we're just not seeing it because we got 27 homes on the market, which is the high for many, many months out in El Sereno, which is, typically a good thing, right? A high when it comes to inventory, but we've only seen 3 price drops. 11% of the homes on the market. That's the lowest on the east side. Like I've mentioned, we're seeing 20, 30% price drops. Now, obviously, price drops in normal markets is a red flag, but in this one, it's just a matter of people having to come to the realization that less people are in the market from a buyer perspective because they can't afford to finance. And the numbers are telling us that some of these homes should be doing price drops, right? The minimum price right now to get in the neighborhood, $525K. We're going to talk about that home in the final segment, homes that have caught my eye. Top dog right now, we know this house, 1.488888 million. The average home price right now is 821, 880. Average days on market, we're at 64. That's the mark, right? We talk about this if you follow along the other East Side videos. Once you get to that 60-day mark, that's 2 months on the market. Sellers start to get impatient. You start to see price drops. But for whatever reason, we just aren't seeing that occurring in El Sereno. So we are seeing homes sitting, a lot of homes sitting over 100 days, some as much as almost a year on the market, and is driving up that days on market. We look into October of 2022, we had 11 homes sell, 102% clip. So what that means is 2% over the list price on average. That's an important number if you're a home buyer because it gives you a perspective as far as where you might want to come in with your offer, or at least an insight to what your top end price that you're willing to pay would be. If you're a home owner in El Sereno, that's one of the metrics that can give you some insight if you're getting appreciation on your home. But that's October of 22. What's going to be more relevant is what happened last month or the previous months. So let's jump over to the last month now and see exactly what's happening in El Sereno as we break down the numbers even further. Long-term projections in the real estate game is a very real thing. It gives you some great insight as far as where a neighborhood's going, where a city's going. But things have been very wild ever since the pandemic in real estate in many aspects of our country and our government and financials. So it's really something that's important if you're somebody who's trying to buy right now to focus a little bit more in on what's most relevant, which is what's most recent. That's why we take a look at last month to see what the market told us. We had 14 sales last month. Not bad for El Sereno. Sold at 104% clip. So 4% on average over that list price. We look back the last 5 months. We had 3% over the list price, 3% over the list price, 3% over the list price, 4. So what that tells me is if I see a home in El Sereno, my idea on this is that 3 or 4% over that list price is typically where I should be able to, on average, obtain this home. So if it's $1 million home, right, I'm probably assuming that I'm going to have to pay $1,040,000 on that home, right? 4% over that list price. Maybe you come in with an initial 1.025 offer. Obviously these are just generalized ideas, but with the thought process that I'm willing to go to 1.04 for this home. But that's a good number to kind of look at to give you an insight when it comes to making offers on a home. Low end last month, 575K. That home sold for 76K over the list price. So it was listed for 499, sold for 575. Needed some serious work. You're not going to get any homes under 500K in Los Angeles unless you go deep into the desert. Maximum side, the top end was only 1.05 million. It sold 151K over the list price. So it was listed for 949, or listed for 899, sold for 100. Yeah, that's right. 899 to 1.05. Yep, 151K over the list price. So not the highest end sale that we see on the east side. In fact, that's lower than most averages on the east side. And that's where I think the gap is there. It's developing, right? There's opportunity. I think, we really need to start to see some of the commercial developments happen. Continue to keep price down. Obviously, it's got the college there. But there's just a trickle effect when it comes to real estate as far as affordability, right? That's exactly what happened with everything on the east side. Silver Lake and Echo Park used to be terrible areas if you go back a few decades, right? Now they're incredible. The average home sale price in the areas is over 2 million, right? Same thing with Highland Park. Average home sale price in Highland Park, 1.1 million. Eagle Rock, 1.3 million, right? And then this El Sereno sits right off Pasadena. It's Pasadena, South Pasadena, which is one of the nicest areas in all of Los Angeles. And there's El Sereno just sitting right there. So if we can start to see that trickle effect, people getting priced out of those neighborhoods, kind of come in, get some commercial development, keep the crime down, improve some of the schools, get some funding in there. I think we have some opportunities. Average was 797, 769. That's the lowest we've seen in month. Obviously, that's affected by the low top end on the sale side of things. 34 days on market. It's pretty high for sale price, but we're not too worried about that. September 2022, 16 homes sold, 104% clip. There's that 4% again. 12% decline year over year is actually pretty good in compared to other neighborhoods on the east side. We see like Atwater was at 67% year over year decline. So there's other neighborhoods that are seeing bigger faults, but 12% is not great. Let's jump out into the neighborhood. Let's look at some homes. Let's see if we can find some value. Let's see what things look like in the neighborhood and homes that have caught my eye. Homes that have caught my eye. We're going to get into the entry level. What's the minimum price look like to get in the neighborhood? Give you an understanding of what the floor looks like. We'll talk about the top end. What's the ceiling look like? What's the top dog in the neighborhood? And then we're going to do PK's top pick. That's our value play. Admittedly, we've talked about this whole video. El Sereno is just not, it's really got a slow progression. We're just not seeing the value. A lot of other east side neighborhoods are kind of waking up to the reality of what the real estate market is. So we see price drops, we see good square footage numbers, we see good comp opportunities, right? Because when you look at comps and people are comparing it to maybe a home that sold at the end of 2022 and they think they're going to get that same price, well, they're probably rudely mistaken, right? Because although rates weren't great at the end of 2022, they're certainly not as bad as they are right now. And El Sereno just isn't waking up to this call. So admittedly, we don't have a ton of value. But let's start with the entry level. I do want to mention 3215 Pirate Street is still active. That was that home that needed a ton of work. It was listed for 550K. It was our bottom price last month, but it's actually been eclipsed this month. 4548 Amber Place, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 560 square feet. So not a huge house here. 525,000 is the list price on this one. $937 per square foot. Very high. I think the mentality here is we just don't see, unless they're complete remodels, complete projects, there's just no homes selling under 500K. But 937 is pretty high for a house that's only 560 square feet. The lot's fine, 3,200. It sits just off Huntington Drive in a cul-de-sac, which is nice, but you got to be careful on the east side. A typical cul-de-sac means great, less traffic, less people coming through, a little safer, especially if you got kids. But the problem with some of these east side neighborhoods with cul-de-sacs is they can be real windy, real skinny, and not, kind of a wide cul-de-sac you might picture from like a suburban mentality. But it's in the Rose Hill Hood neighborhood. Realistically, the comp for this home is right around 500K. So we'll see how things go. as far as the perspectives. There are a few homes, our 600K priced homes in El Sereno have huge days on market. The 500K priced homes are getting a little bit more attention, selling a little bit quicker, but we'll see what happens with the days on market with this. Let's jump over to PK's top pick. Couple houses we got to touch base on. First of all, August home, I told you we'd revert back. That was a 3746 Hellman, the one with the incredible comps. It was under contract when we talked last month of the September real estate update. It has sold. It was listed for $849 when we talked about it. Sold for $930, so $81K over the list price. We love the home. One of the our favorite homes that we've gone over this year in El Sereno. We talked about that, so no surprise that it went $81K over the list price. Great comps in that home. Last month, that home's still active. It's 5353 Huntington Drive. We didn't love it, just like the one we're going to get to here. We don't love a ton of value in El Sereno right now. But that one's also still active for $840. It was the house that wasn't as pretty, but some of the square footage numbers, some of the comp opportunities, and the location was what was attractive to us. But that one's still hitting. If you're interested in checking that one out, check back to the September real estate update for El Sereno. This month, we're going to go with 5336 Huntington Drive. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, $960. It's listed for $980K, $1,020 per square foot. You can get $1,000 per square foot for a fully updated home. This home has no interior pictures, so I'm not sure, another agent, and I'm not sure what exactly they are doing. But if it is completely updated inside, I can live with $1,020, but for under $1 million, I want that number at least closer to $800. Lots pretty solid for El Sereno, 6883. It's on like the north side, close to South Pasadena, and we just talked about that, the trickle-down effect. So that's the type of area I want to look at El Sereno, because that's the first spot, right? Because, things just spread when it comes to anything real estate involved. But also a nice fence out front. This is something that people take for granted when selling a home, just from a curb appeal, from a privacy appeal, from a safety appeal. A nice fence can go a long way. So it's something to keep in mind if you're thinking about selling, or if you're somebody who's planning on selling, and even 5 years from now, like, put it on your long-term list. All right, 2025, we're going to build a beautiful fence to kind of accentuate the house and build up all of those aspects. So don't take that for granted. Don't love it. It's not my favorite play on the east side. Certainly, it's the location that's really attracted to me. I'm very insecure without having any interior pictures. So we gotta definitely solidify that. I haven't had a chance to get out to this house yet, but we'll keep our eye on it. Tell you what's going on next month. Let's finish things off with the top dog. A couple things we got to touch base on. Last month's 4418 Bowman Boulevard. That one's still active. That's the top dog in the neighborhood. 1.488888. That's the Bowman Estates, right? That was that little development they put together in Bowman Estates with nice houses, nice little 6 compact little neighborhood here. But it's a high price point for El Sereno just in general, so it hasn't got the looks yet. I think that maybe some marketing needs to be done to kind of let people know that there's that opportunity out in El Sereno, but we'll keep our eye on that, keep you updated. I did want to mention the August 5501 Alhambra. That house finally did go off the mark, or that home is the next tiered. So the highest price right now is the Bowman. Then it's the 5501 Alhambra. We went over that in the August real estate update. That was that hoarder's house. So it was a high listed price, and they were just, every picture was just looked like a hoarder lived there. So it's no surprise that we're sitting here months later and nothing has changed. Yep, pictures have been updated, nothing. So we're going to go down to the next tier so we don't get too repetitive with some of this stuff. 2916 Covina Street, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1444 square feet, listed for just over $1 million, 1.05, which is right at our top dog last month. $727 per square foot. I'm great with that. Love that number. 5763. Not bad for a lot size in El Sereno. This is one of the nicer houses in the neighborhood. So there's kind of that mentality that you never buy the nicest house in the neighborhood. You always buy the worst house because it has better chance for appreciation. But who doesn't like a nice house? So, there's some pros and cons of that discussion anyway. But it has a garage as well. Maybe an opportunity for a back-end ADU that you'd have to get permitted, but maybe supplement some of the monthly payment if you're worried about that. But it sits right at that $1 million mark, which is pretty good for anything in Los Angeles in general. So we'll keep our eye on these 3 top dogs in the neighborhood, see if we get any progression. I anticipate we're going to see the days on market jump heavily in El Sereno unless we start to see some price drops and get some relief from some of these sellers. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value, and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind.
Yeah.